Okay, so welcome to episode 11 of the Cinema Snobs VR Cast. And I am your host, Jimmie.
And I'm Jake.
And it is May 2025. And it is Refn month, Nicolas Winding Refn. So this will be our show where we have our first guest. Coming in later will be David Rosen, who we, from the Piecing It Together podcast and composer right here in Las Vegas. We've been on his show before. It's a great podcast. He does screenings in theaters where, we all watch the film and then we discuss afterwards. Kind of like the live version of what we're doing, basically, by showing stuff on Bigscreen. But the podcast is recorded directly, after the show, after the screening. So it's really cool. And we do it in local theaters here in Las Vegas. And I have affiliation with 3 or 4 different theaters that we do it at, and it's getting cool. And we've been on there a few times, and we're honored to have David join us on ours today. We're going to be talking about Drive and Bronson. And besides that, Jake, what have you been watching? What's something that you watched? Or first of all, what's going on with you? How are you doing? What's going on in May? School's almost done. I mean, how are you feeling? What's going on in your life?
Oh, well, I'm about to graduate in like 4 days. I haven't watched the film in 2 weeks, so every time I ever said, "Oh, I'm not, I haven't been watching films," this time I'm actually serious.
Yeah.
But, anyways, no, the beautiful thing about it is I can have this massive film withdrawal, but whenever someone brings up the name Ingmar Bergman, I'm like, oh my God, I love Ingmar Bergman. So then obviously, like, I realize like, oh, I still love films. So I feel like I could take this break, especially since I've been busy otherwise, like obviously with school, but not anymore. So it's now just work,
Yeah.
and
Um,
that's pretty much it. I mean,
no
yeah,
regret, man. You should be really. I'm proud because you should be focusing on. It's your senior year, your last year. You should be focusing on,
yeah, I've been making a film. I've been
getting
making a documentary.
everything. Yeah, you're working on a doc. That's true too. You will mention that you're working on a documentary for the school. You've been shooting. Yeah, tell everybody you've been shooting stuff all last 4 years, pretty much. Kind
No,
of.
not last 4 years, but just this whole school year. But
Oh, this year I
um,
thought you were. I could have sworn you were doing stuff junior year and even
if I
beyond.
did that the whole, no, junior year we did the Sebastian Reyes show.
Oh, right.
But if I shot things from the all 4 years, I could have made like a really really cool documentary. But yeah.
Right.
Well, anyways, a good film I seen recently. The last film I seen actually, which was on the 11th. It's currently the 25th. It's been 2 weeks. But I watched Lynn Ramsey's "We Need to Talk About Kevin," which is an amazing film. Good
Mm.
enough to hold me down for 2 weeks. That film's amazing. It's like really the type of film you should watch in your psychology class because it's about truly about like really really like severe mental illness and like narcissism and parenthood. I actually watched it on Mother's Day, May 11th, which was a great Mother's Day film because like it's about parenthood,
Yeah.
raising literally like the personified devil.
Oh
uh
man. Yep.
yeah, I mean it's a rough film, but it's amazing. It's a masterpiece.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but you did ask me, hey, Dad, did you ever see this movie? And we need to talk about
Yeah,
Kevin.
it's
I'm like,
good.
yeah, I have. I've seen it when it first came out. There was a lot of talk. I think it might have been, I can't remember exactly what festival it was. It might have been Sundance, but, got a lot of buzz and, it was violent. So it kind of like got talk in the horror community and stuff. And instantly I knew I was going to be in for something that was along the lines of like, the Elephant, which was based on the Columbine shootings. And just like
Yeah.
the aftermath, am I still remembering it right? Like the aftermath of just like what a parent would go through when their son is in the public eye for
Yeah,
that.
it's like how they're gonna perceive the fact that like their kid just did something so horrific, and then she's like thinking like, where did my parenting go wrong? Which
Right.
like we watched the film and like, yeah, she was kind of like an impatient parent, but like how her kid ended up is just like it was so like she couldn't affect that. Like the film was like nature versus nurture, that whole like
Right.
psychological like conversation about like how you end up this way, but was it because of parenthood or is it
Right.
your nature?
Guilt.
So
Yeah.
like I don't know. I mean, honestly, anyone who's seen that film, you have to answer it for yourself. Like how the hell did that kid end up that way? Definitely not from the parenting. Sure, she was kind of like impatient with him when he was little, but like that's not gonna make the kid go on a rampage and just be like
Yeah.
a terrible person.
And it's funny. I really should watch it again because when I first saw it, you guys were like probably babies. It's been a while,
Don't
And
bring us into this.
no. What I meant is I was watching it when you were too young, but like I could imagine watching it now, having teenage sons, that it would probably be more horrifying,
Yeah, of course.
and to I would probably connect with it even more now.
No, I
Um,
mean the interesting
you
thing
know.
about the film too is that Ezra Miller, the lead actor, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that kid's good.
seriously, like in real life, like he's insane. Like he's actually crazy. He's been in jail multiple times.
Oh really? Like,
Um,
what else
yeah,
was
he's
that
been in
kid
jail multiple
in?
times.
What else was he? Can
He's
you
in like The
remember?
Perks of Being a Wallflower or whatever
Right.
that film is.
Yes. That's a
That's what
good
it's called,
movie.
right?
Yeah, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. That's a great movie, actually. That's
Yeah, I
right.
never
That's where I
seen
seen
that, but
him.
he's also in Flash. Like
Okay.
I don't know, the dude's crazy. Like it was
I
so
didn't know
perfect
about
that he
his
played that
I didn't know
role.
about his
He
personal life though. Okay.
yeah, he was arrested like during the production.
Hmm. No. Oh.
I don't know, but yeah, he's a nutcase in real life. And actually, I apologize. Like he's non-binary, so I shouldn't be saying he. But
Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't really
yeah,
followed his career or anything, but that kind of makes sense because I haven't seen him in anything, and
I mean, but
he
realistically,
was good
like
as a young actor.
he does. Yeah, but this guy doesn't deserve anyone's respect. He's the type of person. He's only like in the system in the Hollywood system because like you know he's an actor. He gets away with stuff. Like if he was any other person, he'd be in jail. He'd be like in
Well,
house arrest or
there's a
something.
lot of talented actors that artists in general, that get away with murder literally because of their talent. So no, but everything you're saying, it really makes me curious now. I gotta go look up this kid. I had no idea, but overall, his performance in that film
Oh, he's great though.
made sense
But so is
that
Tilda Swinton.
they dealt with it, put it that way. And he was really good. Like also in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, I remember he stood out. So that's true. That's right. Because when I saw the movie, and then I saw we need to talk about Kevin, I was like, oh, that's that kid. Because I think Perks was second. That came out after.
I think it was second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, very cool. Well, we're gonna talk tons about Refn, but I mean, what I've been watching this month is, and it's really what I did is when we talked about doing the show, the Refn month, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna see what we need to see for the month, and also just revisit some other things. So I rewatched Neon Demon, and we showed it here on big screen as well. And man, does that movie really, really hold up? And it confirmed that it's my favorite Refn, and just because it is not only all the all the Refn-esque attributes and just things that make him such a great filmmaker, but it had the horror element, which is really why it connected with me more. Like it was literally to me, it was homage to Suspiria. He already had the love for the color scheme and all that kind of stuff, his camera work, but the whole connection with it wasn't witchcraft, but he was vampirism and but way more depth with the psychology and of beauty and all the politics in Hollywood and just backstabbing and all those things I love about the industry, or that I should say not love, that are sadly involved in the industry and the dark side of it. And he brought that out and pretty much solidified the number one Refn film for me after rewatching it. So I can go on about the
Yeah.
movie, but
It's my
uh,
favorite too.
is it really? Okay, yeah. So we'll talk
It's
about
his
that.
best. It's his
Uh,
best.
yeah, it seemed like even though I don't want to say too much about Drive, but even though he nailed it in Drive, it's like I think he really came to be his most confident with his art in Neon Demon, and he
Except what
showed
the
it.
hell is Keanu Reeves doing in that film, right?
Yeah, that's funny. You know what? This was before he did Neon Demon. I think that was before the John Wick film, so he was kind of down and
No, no.
out. Yeah, I don't think he did
He
any
did.
John Wick before that.
John Wick was done in 14. Now John Wick didn't become like a franchise until the next year. So like John Wick at that point was literally just like an independent film that
So
he was
like what
in.
I'm
It was an
saying, like
action film. So he wasn't like massive again yet, you know?
he was like pretty much, he's had some fu money, as they say, and he was like, okay, he had respect, obviously for up and coming directors and Refn, so he's like, I'll do any part for you, dude. I'll help. I'll do anything. He had that like I'll do anything for you kind of a role, and
Yeah.
you know He was good in it, but it's like he was underused, of course. But at the time, it kind of fit because I don't think he wasn't into, and if he did do a John Wick, he wasn't into 2 and 3 yet. Had that huge status. He was not. I mean, he worked with Eli Roth for Christ's sakes, before the John Wick, before the John Wick thing. So in other words, he was kind of in his "I'll help the little guy" mode. That's what I saw in that film. So.
Okay, him working with Eli Roth, the answer to
not that Refn's a little guy, but still, he was still, a festival darling kind of a director,
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. That's pretty much it. I didn't really watch too much either. I mean, nothing like brand new. I've been kind of down and out as far as like, God, nothing like new. We're kind of in that time now where all like the festival stuff isn't going to start coming out until later. Like, of course, January had Sundance, so all those films, they're not quite out yet. That's going to be in the fall and in the winter for the next award season and stuff. So it'll pick up. It always does around the end of the year, right? Right now is the time where I like a little bit of retrospective, which is exactly what we did on this episode. So, all right, cool. We are going to take a quick break. And we will come back with our first guest, David Rosen. We're going to talk about Drive first. So we'll see you in a sec.
I'm giving you a night call to tell you how I feel. I want to drive you.
All right, so welcome back to the Cinema Snobs VR Cast, and we are here with our guest, David Rosen from the Piecing It Together podcast and composer. David, welcome to the show. You're our first guest.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is a little bit wild.
It's different, right? It's different.
Yes, absolutely. But we're in my favorite place to be, a movie theater, so it's pretty cool.
And the best thing, I don't know about you, but the best thing is I'm in my underwear, and you don't even know it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a little too much. No. So, again, we are doing Nicolas Winding Refn month, and we gave the assignment to David to watch 2 Refn films, one that we must have seen before, and all of our faves, and of course something that we've never saw before except Jake. Jake, I don't know what it is, but you've seen just about every Refn film. Was it every Refn film, or is there something you'd missed?
I never seen this freaking Travis Scott one, which I don't look forward to even seeing anyways because I heard it's not good.
Oh, I saw that. It's terrible.
That's a documentary, right?
And then I haven't seen Bleeder, which is the second film, which I can't find anywhere. I've pretty much seen everything that's notable from him. So. Yeah.
Well, as far as real quick to that Travis Scott, is it a documentary or is that actually a feature?
It's weird. It's like a music video, basically, like a 90-minute music video, and it's like multiple directors. Gaspar Noé does one of the segments, and a bunch of people, and it's just a whole bunch of nothing, honestly, for 90 minutes. And I love all the directors involved in it, and it's just terrible.
Huh?
And then at the very end, the title card says directed by Travis Scott. Like, get the hell out of here.
Oh, so that sounds like to me it was Travis Scott getting his favorite directors involved in his project.
That dude has never seen a Gaspar Noé film. There's no way.
Yeah, exactly.
Travis Scott's like brainless. His music is garbage too.
I love Jake's honesty on the show. No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, David. That's the way you open up with your kid is you just get them to really speak their mind.
That's right. Absolutely.
No, that's good. That's art. Art is subjective, and we can say whatever we want. So speaking of, all right, we're going to talk about Drive. Again, I number one had to pick this film because the whole point of going back and seeing an old film is how does it hold up? Does it still have the same magic as when you first saw it? And I will start by saying, of course, I still love it. It's one of these movies I put on all the time, right? I just I don't watch it all the way through, but like if it's on or I notice it's in my feed, I'll just watch a scene or two or something. But as far as the whole thing, it didn't feel as amazing as the first time or even second time of watching it, just because it was like maybe I've just seen it too much, so it's more now I'm looking for new things. I think I kind of seen it a little too much now, to be honest with you. I still love it, but now it just didn't have the same magic as other Refn films, which we can dive into later. But David, we'll start with, you go next. Like, what was your first thought after seeing this film for so long? It's been a while.
Well, first of all, I have not seen this somehow since the theater.
Oh,
and
wow.
I saw it opening weekend. Of course, I liked it a lot. I might have even loved it at the time, but for whatever reason, it's just one of those movies I just never got around to a rewatch on. And so I'm really glad that I'm finally, getting to do that. And yeah. I loved it this second time. This movie, as I'm watching it, I'm just like, how have I not watched this recently? Because it's so damn good. Everything about it is just really, really awesome. And you can see, I mean, obviously on my podcast, we're always talking about influence. You could see how much this influenced like everything in the last 15 years, It's such a huge movie of this particular decade. And seeing all these actors just in their prime, just so young and just so alive. I mean, we haven't seen so much from Oscar Isaac in a while. Yes. And just seeing him doing something interesting is so great. And Carey Mulligan, I mean, all these people, they're so good. And this thing really just crackled the whole time.
Great. So that's awesome to hear that, because it's, like I said, it's probably the way I felt. Not probably, it is the way I felt watching it the second, third, fourth time. But like, honestly, I've seen it a lot of times. And so I kind of lost it. Maybe I overdid it by watching so much.
Sure.
But what you're saying right now is exactly why I do love it and want to revisit it, Jake, how about you? Jake, what was same here, right? Don't we watch it a lot? Isn't it like always on our feed? Like it's like, we have this player called, Gen Play, right? Which, we get all the films and stuff, and it has like your favorite films on your top list, right? And it's always there. It's always there. The meaning that somebody must have clicked on and watched a couple scenes, and so that's why it's always there for the watching. And, but anyway, Jake, sorry.
No, you're good. So, I mean, I've seen this film a lot. I've probably seen it like 5 times after I just watched it recently. But like, I mean, I obviously really love this film for a lot of reasons, but the thing I got out of it this time is it's obvious, like a lot of great directors, they always get the one thing right that a lot of like amateur or like new directors don't get right, which is sound design. Like this film actually has crazy sound design. Like because I watched it with headphones, like if you watch a film with headphones, you really realize like how great the sound design really is. And this film is like, if you don't watch it with headphones, like you're kind of not getting like the best experience out of it. Or if you have like, you need like great audio. Because if you just watch it on your TV and you hear like a dog barking in the background, like you're not going to be compelled as much.
True.
Yeah. But I mean, like obviously this film inspired me a lot because like I literally made like short films with like my friend has a driver jacket and he just like wears it and pretend like he's a driver. But like, yeah, I mean, I think this film was really cool. Like the music is just, I think the music makes Drive a lot better. I mean, Ryan Gosling is like he's a perfect leading man, and like the story is kind of simple, but like it's just the atmosphere. This film really is like, I mean, it has substance, but it's style over substance, like 80-20,
Right. Yeah, and in the best way, style over substance.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason for all that style, and it works so well.
Yeah, like the music, that's definitely never gets old though, because it's funny.
Yeah.
Even after this watch, I went right back to playing the soundtrack driving around in my car. I have the full soundtrack. I love it.
No.
And it's like, right, Jake? I've been listening to more synthwave again. It's like it's really inspiring. So that'll never end, and that's why I really wanted to go. I know we're only reviewing 2 of his films. But, that's why I went ahead and watched Neon Demon again, and I watched Only God Forgives, and it's like, that's what Refn did to me in Drive, is he made me want to go just see whatever he did and follow him. And it's cool to see that he had that love for that music and that vibe, that tone, from day one, even dating back to Pusher, which I finally got around to.
Pusher had like rock music, but Pusher 2 is where he started using electronic.
Right. Yeah, but the tone, just like I don't know what it is. He started showing it a lot more. Well, I still haven't got around to 2 and 3, Pusher 2 and 3, but I started noticing that the electronic thing in Bronson, which we can get to. He had a lot. But did you see Fear X, Jake? That's another one of his, Fear X.
Yeah, Fear X is like.
Is that electronic music?
It's like monotone, like no music. He kind of like. The whole like first American film thing, like it's so obvious. Like he uses John Turturro, who's like he's not bad, and he uses James Remar too. Like it's just 2 like famous actors, like 2 famous American actors that like their styles did not correlate with Refn. It kind of just seemed
Mm.
like he was gonna make a film and he got like two big guys, but
Mm-hmm.
like for
Yeah.
what? Like that's not him.
Well,
It's very not Refn.
yeah,
in
that's
that.
why, David, I recommend checking out that documentary. He did another one. I forgot to mention it. We were chatting earlier. He did another one called Gambler, and it was after Pusher One and Fear X, and he, was already feeling like his days are done. Like he's already, no one's going to fund him for a movie again. They went bankrupt, the company. So the only way
Yeah.
they can get out of bankruptcy and save his career was to do Pusher 2 and 3, which he didn't want to do at all creatively. But he knew that it was the way to get money to get out of their hole, and it's just really, really interesting, like just how much of love for the art of filmmaking and cinema he has, and the pressures that he went through to get where he's at. But it sounded like that Fear X was him saying, "Okay, I made my film. Now I'm going to do one for me." And it almost ruined him. It almost ruined his career, because he was being too artistic and
I don't
didn't
know
have.
why he made Fear X.
Yeah, so I didn't see that one. It makes me really want to see that one, but it's all explained in that Gambler documentary. And then in the My Life Living with Nicolas Winding Refn documentary about the making of Only God Forgives, then you see him really, really showcasing that like pressure of staying where he's at. And man, it's just it's heartbreaking. The pressures he went through, and the way his wife was literally like kind of like keeping him jumping off the roof, like really interesting. Yeah,
it's fun. It's funny, talking about the score a little bit more. And I know DJing, film scores. I mean, myself as a film music composer who specializes mainly in synth heavy stuff, like we always hear people who complain about synth like scores, but I feel like this one is so just you just can't argue with it, with how great it is, and it kind of changed the course of film scoring for this last couple of decades here, and I think this is a big part of that drive.
Yeah, and then after watching it again, that's what I'm saying is
sure.
is you could see, you mentioned it earlier, how you could see how it inspired so many other people, and I think people realized, all right, it could be done right. You're right, because the film score, it either hit or miss, but you would like really love a film score, but then the movie might not be the best, but you'll love the score. This is one where both of them nailed it, and then it pretty much solidified everybody to like, okay, let's bring it back and do it right. And that's why you heard so much of synthwave. Really, that genre of synthwave came out of Drive. They literally,
it feels like it did. Yeah.
And that's when everybody just went crazy on making synth scores, and with imaginary, like they would do like fake trailers of movies that don't exist, but with a score or album, like a theme of an album from a movie that's not really a movie. It'd be the official soundtrack of, and it's not really a movie, but it's just the score. That all
this reminds me. This reminds me of a thing in video games where like they do like the 8-bit style video games, but those games never looked that good. Like I love 8-bit video games, don't get me wrong, but they never looked as sharp and clean as what they purport to be 8-bit style video games nowadays. Yeah. And it's like this, nothing ever sounded like these scores in the 80s exactly like what Cliff Martinez does in this movie. And it's like it's kind of an approximation of an era but it's also doing something completely new that really isn't that thing.
Right. Well, I think but the question I was going to ask is, what was the thing that really stood out about this film? I asked you what would be the one thing, and would it be the score for you then? Because
music.
Actually, I'm going to zag.
No? Okay.
I'm going to zag because of course it's the music, but I'm also going to go with Albert Brooks because he's so damn good in this movie, and it's just so much fun to watch him be so menacing and so just mean and just awesome, and that's what I'm going to go with instead, even though the score, of course.
No, good. I'm okay. Cool. Yeah, because Jake, I was asking, like, do you remember what's the one thing like about this film? And for me, I have to say it is the score. But Jake, what would be yours? Like, what's the number one thing about this movie? Cinematography, acting, actors, anything that stands out the most for you?
I mean, obviously music, but like it's kind of boring to just say music because like everyone's gonna say that. I don't know. The thing about Drive is I think it really handles its romance pretty well. Like I'll give it that, because like even though it's not the centripetal part of the story, like I really do care about like the driver and Irene. So I'll give
Nice.
it that.
You're right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, the story, it's like, is it a big arc kind of a story? Is it like all these deep layers?
It's so
No,
simple,
it's
yeah.
just a human
Super simple.
story. And to me, that's really all you need. And especially if you're going to have everything else on point, you know, with cinematography, the music, and costume and style overall, just like it was perfect. So,
Oh yeah.
all right. Well, after all of these years, and what's your final star rating on this film, David?
Do we do half stars here?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, 4.5
You
for
do
me.
Letterboxd.
Yeah, I go on my Letterboxd. 4.5, and you know, I feel like this could, with some more rewatches, I might one day just say, you know what, screw it, this is a 5-star movie. But 4.5 for me, though. Yeah,
that's so cool. All right, go ahead, Jake. What was yours?
4.5. But let's get to you. Are you still what I think, or like?
Well, like I said, I mean, maybe I'm being honest. Like I've seen it. It's 5. It's been a 5 all my life, and it's weird how like okay, the only reason why I might say 4.5 now is just because I don't want to get too much into Neon Demon. We're not even talking about Neon Demon, but I watched Neon Demon. Like fuck, that's my 5. That's my 5. But it changes.
You know, 2 5s. What is it?
You could have 2
1 5
5s
per director. Yeah.
No. I'm saying as far as like you're right. Okay, it could still be the same amount of stars, but as far as my favorite reference, if I'm going to rank them, that's what I should say. It's the ranking.
What does that mean? That Black Swan is your favorite from the 2010s now?
Up against Drive?
Because it was 1 and 2. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I have to go watch that. Yeah, Jake knows that Black Swan is like one of my favorites.
Nice.
I don't know.
Nice.
It's just, you know, nothing's set in stone. You know, that's why Letterboxd a bunch of love it. It's like I'm not going to change. I don't go back in and change things. I don't do that. But that's why I kind of like when I rewatch films, it's like why did I love it so much then, or why didn't I love it more then? You know, things like that. I like to, when I revisit films, I like to kind of like do those things and reevaluate them. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. It still could be a 5, but let's just say it's not my favorite Refn anymore, which was weird to say. Yeah. Neon Demon. After Neon Demon again, man, loved it. So, all right. Very cool. Well, either way, we loved it. It's never gonna die for me, but so glad we got to revisit. Okay, well, we are gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and talk about Nicolas Winding Refn's Bronson right after this.
Talking about Bronson, also by Nicolas Winding Refn, and this is his first and only British film, starring Tom Hardy. This is also Tom Hardy's best performance. I mean, easily this film is basically just 21st century Clockwork Orange. What's your guys' thoughts?
I think it definitely fits in that continuum of movies like Clockwork Orange for sure. Yeah, this movie's freaking awesome.
It is. I love it. I was obsessed with it for a little bit. Like I rewatched it like 3 times in like 2 days once because I showed my brothers.
Nice.
I watched it and then I was like, Nico, you gotta come watch this. But like he didn't watch it, so I just ended up watching it myself again, and then I showed him like the next day. And the thing about this film is that like his character, like Tom Hardy as Charles Bronson, he's so like absurd and like, you know, obviously this dude's like a mental case, right? Like I don't know what he's suffering from, and the film's not even concerned with what he suffers from. So what even is the point of this film? Because like what is its commentary? Like the commentary isn't about mental illness really. It's not about the prison system even. It's just like it's just like Drive. I mean, it's style over substance, even more than Drive.
Well, it's
The
truth
music
because it's
plays a
based.
massive role.
It's based off a real man, right? It's a real
Yeah, but
true story.
it's like a what do you call it? It's like it's a biopic, but it's like fictional. I don't know I forgot the word, but like it's fictional. Like it's not all true. Like yeah,
Mhm.
there really was a British prisoner who went by Charles Bronson. His real name was like Michael Peterson or something like
Mhm.
that, and he was insane and like he was like a neo-Nazi, which like they barely even get
Yeah,
into
they probably
in
didn't
this
want
film. Like
to say
what
that.
is the point of Bronson? And like I asked myself that question, but still I love the film because it's just so cool. Like that's all it needs.
Right, yeah. Well, I just got to say, this was my first time watching this. This is one that I've always wanted to get around to, and I just never got a chance, especially because Tom Hardy is one of the most interesting actors out there of the last like 20 years. And
Mhm.
so it's definitely one I've wanted to cross off my list. And he is just so freaking watchable in this movie. Like as for like what is this movie about? This movie is just like a character piece to just
Yeah.
like see this person exist on screen. And
Yeah.
like you said, there's not that much of a point to it, I don't think. Like I think
No.
it's just look at this guy, and
It's
you can't.
absurdity, yeah.
It's yeah, and you can't not look at him because of the performance. He's so larger than life, and in these small, locations inside these jail cell or in these like tiny little houses where he takes up the entire frame, like at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Like you can't stop looking at him, and
Right.
that just makes for such a fun character piece that is just absolutely nuts, and he is just wild in this movie.
Well, it's really an actor's kind of a role dream, like to
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to play this. So I think that I can't imagine this film what would have been like without him playing it. Like who else could have played that role?
Right.
Especially at that time in that era. But I mean,
Oh,
it was really an actor's dream come true to be able to be based off a true story, and then have a director like Refn who would just say, "Do your thing." Like I can't see too much interference of any way of Refn and the way he directed him. It's like he just let Harding go.
Oh yeah.
And
One side note about Bronson though is like every time I see Tom Hardy on screen, I just feel so bad for like whoever is also in the scene because I'm like that person about to get beat up.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. He was
Yeah.
he beefed up. He really beefed up for
Oh.
this movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I did watch a couple. I was trying to find some things on YouTube about it, and they were just talking about again how he was so committed to the role, and he worked his ass off to get to the level of to match what this real guy looked like.
I wonder if there was any method acting bullshit involved in his
There has to have
performance.
been.
Like,
He
yeah,
wanted to-
probably, and he would have been scary as shit if it was.
One thing that I did was
Very
interesting
much.
too is that he wanted to meet with him in jail, and they didn't allow it, but they did allow them to talk on the phone, so they did have conversations. And then the word got out that he was going to be making this movie about about this prisoner, so all the other prisoners found out, and then it became like a internal jealousy or kind of a thing, and that's why they didn't want him to come in. They didn't want they just kind of wanted to die off and not let this become a big spectacle that they were covering this inmate.
No, no.
It's interesting.
That's great.
But yeah, and I did hear a lot about the Clockwork Orange, example. They were talking. There was a lot of similarities. I didn't really see that too much. The only thing that kind of made me go like, "Oh my God, they're even going to do that?" is when he came home. Remember, they're like, "Welcome home, son."
Yeah.
I was like, "Really? Are they going to have another guy living there too, just like in Clockwork Orange?"
Right.
That was a little too on the nose of Clockwork Orange. I mean, obviously, Refn's a fan of Kubrick and Clockwork Orange. But and then just the English, the English sense of humor and
British,
tone, a British. So I think that it was that was another connection. But that's pretty much it. I don't know the whole prison system thing. That wasn't too much involved.
Also, the use of dolly shots.
Some of the cinematography in this is fantastic for such a simple movie. I mean, but that's the case in all of Refn's movies, isn't it? But like, I think like the other major thing about this movie, and I mentioned this, I don't know if you saw my Letterboxd review, but like this is kind of the ultimate version of those movies that like young guys misunderstand and they just think is badass. Like this is Fight Club. This is in more recent years Joker. Like things like that where it's like these just horrible people, but because they're so charismatic, you're like, hell yeah, you know. And I mean, Clockwork Orange is obviously an example of that kind of very specific subgenre, but this is kind of the ultimate version of that.
It's funny you mentioned Joker because that was one of my first thoughts, probably a half hour in, you know, when I started seeing that they were having him on stage with, you know, like with an imaginary in his head kind of, audience. I was thinking of like, this is what the new Joker should have been. The Joker 2, I should say. Yeah. This is the Joker 2 they should have made. Yep. That's what they should have made.
Well, unfortunately for Todd Phillips, Scorsese didn't make a film about a prisoner, so he had no one to use his blueprint on.
That's a
Yep.
Well said from one of the biggest Scorsese fans on earth. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else to add?
I love the opening of Bronson. The opening, the use of music, the Reds. What's your thoughts, Dad?
Well, you're talking about like the favorite now, with the standout is Tom Hardy's performance. Yeah. The performance, the acting, like he's right. Like the cinematography, of course, is going to be on point. You know, everything, camera work and directorial, but like, it's just hard to, that performance just like overshadow everything. Didn't even really think about the music. Didn't really think about much. It's just the performance was so powerful. But I did say I was going to say something about the music, and there was a little bit of synth in this, a little bit of that electronic score. I liked how he reused. God, I can't remember the name of the band, but it's a synth pop group that they use for music in this.
Versicolor or whatever.
Yes, that track, which I was aware of before the film, and when I heard it, I'm like, very cool drop.
Nice.
But it's that, but yeah, the acting that just has to be it for me. And for me, okay, I'll start with the stars. For me, I'm giving this a 4. It was almost gonna be a 3.5, but then I liked how it progressed. Like he just kicked ass the whole way through, and it didn't let down. So yeah, I'm going with a 4. How about you, David?
Yeah, I'm also going with a 4. I think the only thing holding me back from it going even higher is like once we're getting, you know, back and forth between his like mindset and all that stuff, and really not being 100% sure where things are going, what's real, what's not. Like, I don't know, it just kind of loses a little bit of steam, but his performance is just so damn good. It's at least a 4 just for the performance alone.
I would say 4 also. Even from the first time I ever seen it, I remember it kind of compelled me because like I never really seen a film so like kind of like abstract, how like, you know, it went from like things that he was only perceiving in his mind from things that really happened, and then at the end just questioning what's reality and what's not. That kind of compelled me at first, but you know, I rewatched it a few times more, and it kind of became like a simple viewing to me. Like, yeah, I understand this film, but still it's, you know, a 4-star film, and it kind of holds itself back from being anything more because of its lack of real substance. But you know, like I said before, it's style over substance to begin with, so all is well.
Absolutely.
All right, very cool. All right, guys, we are going to close it out. David, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Piecing It Together podcast and everything you do, because it's been great to work with you in the past, and hope we can keep doing that. So tell everybody about what you're up to.
Absolutely, and I hope to get both of you guys back on the show again sometime soon. Piecing It Together is a podcast where we take a look at a movie through the lens of what other movies might have inspired it. And I've been doing the show for like 8 years now. For the last 3 years, I've been doing live shows at movie theaters here in Las Vegas, and these guys have been on episodes of the live shows. And it's a fun podcast. Episodes every week. People should check that out at piecingpod.com, or find me on social media at piecingpod. And then I also compose music for film. I compose instrumental like we said, synth-heavy instrumental music for films and also albums of instrumental music. I also have a comedy side project of songs about my pets called the Pup Pups, but that's a whole different speed on that one. But
but intriguing.
But yeah.
I can't wait to check it out.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I'm up to. Everybody can find me on all the social medias and all that stuff. Also check out my Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces. We have a fun little community there, mostly people from Las Vegas, but from all over, and no trolls, just cool film loving people.
Nice. I agree. Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, we are going to wrap it up, and then we're going to come back to talk about what we're going to do next month. And we just might have another guest that we're going to tease who we're going to have for next month. We didn't even talk about what movies we're going to do, but we'll get on that, Jake. Well, it's been awesome. And all right, David, we will talk soon, and we'll see you in the real theater maybe one day soon.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the Cinema Snobs VR Cast, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do for episode 12 for the month of June. And we were going to have a guest, but schedules already are coming into conflict, so we're going to have to move that to July for the person we had in mind. But it's kind of perfect because we're going to be pretty tied up for June and not going to be able to show too much on Bigscreen, but there's definitely some films that I thought would be perfect, and from a certain director that I thought would be perfect for the time. So, Jake, I'm gonna spring this one on you, and that's a pun. And we're gonna talk about the films of Harmony Korine.
Okay.
All right. So I know you saw a lot of Harmony Korine already, but I think the one that I'm going to show you second, we're going to show the trailers here, but the trailer I'm going to show you second, I don't think you've seen. I should have looked at your letterbox, but I don't think you did see the one that I planned. And even if you did, cool. But tell me did you see a lot of Harmony Korine, and did you see like a lot of his early stuff, or what was the first Harmony Korine?
Honestly, I've only seen Gummo and Spring Breakers. That's it.
Oh, okay, perfect then. All right. Well, I wanted to do, and I'm already giving away. I wanted to do Trash Humpers, but I can't get a hold of that. That's
yeah. I don't even know where to find that one.
There's like a bootleg. Well, I like to get everything on Blu-ray or physical media, so this way I can show them on our show here for our Saturday nights. But that's I think it's out there like on DVD, bootleg or something, or I don't think it had an official release, or at least maybe it's out of print. But
can we talk about the films that this dude's been making recently? Like, what the hell is Baby Invaders or whatever the hell he made? Baby Invasion or something like that. This new film from like last year, or this year. Like,
I haven't been following him, honestly. I haven't been following for a while, but I know that
I don't know.
He's definitely.
I'm not sure if it's good, but like, I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely, we can get into some Harmony Korine talk, of course, for June. But let's start out by showing the trailer for the first film we're gonna show, and I thought it'd be a good one, for Bigscreen. I think we'll get a pretty good viewing for this one. So, and again, perfect for. I mean, yeah, we're in summer now, but this gives me that vacation vibes,
Oh, no.
So, how long ago did you see this?
Like a year ago.
It's been about a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't really talk much about it. I mean, we don't want to get too much into it, but overall, didn't it make you kind of want to see more? Or did you kind of were you underwhelmed or what?
The thing with Harmony Korine for me is I mean, I really like Gummo. I think I respect Gummo for like what it does for cinema more than I actually like the film, you know, because like he is an acquired taste. You know, you either hate him or love him. I don't know. For me, I'm in between. Like I respect what he does, but I wouldn't consider him like a favorite filmmaker of mine. Like he's very unique. I'll give him that. But you know, I think Spring Breakers is good. It's just I don't know. There's something about it that holds it back from. It's still kind of reckless. Like it's artistic, but it's reckless. Like it's kind of hard to tell. Like has this guy been? Well, yeah, of course, but it's hard to tell. Like has this guy been making films for 20 years or 5 years? You know.
But this is like his biggest, you know, for the time, biggest budget. Where like, you know, it's kind of like he could. What I liked is that he still kept it artistic and style, like kept his style, but he also had to conform to, you know, a little bit of commercialism by going mainstream with this film and using big actors and so like I think he did a good balance of like not selling out and doing what he wanted. He definitely had control. So anyway, I'm looking forward to you rewatching it then, because man, it's like there's some moments in the film too where it just really gets into a really good, like just a really good vibe of like, man, he's still like a lot of long shots, and like it's like a music video, you know, like he really did his thing by still giving, you know, Hollywood what they wanted, and you know, the movie company what they wanted. And again, this was one of the first early A24s too, so yeah, that was the perfect matching for him to be with that company. It really gave him the freedom that he needed, you know, to do his thing. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking. So I want you to give it another look. I haven't seen it in a while. It's probably been maybe even 3 years since I gave it a full watch. But after watching Gummo again recently, and I was going to show Gummo, but I just really watched it recently. I know you watched it recently, but it just really reminded me of how far he's came, and like just how I just love the dude as a personality. Like, I don't know if you could say love him, but he's just so interesting to watch and hear talk, because he just doesn't give a shit. You know, he doesn't give a shit.
He's also a drug addict.
Yes, well, fortunately recovering, but he definitely started out that way. And man, I really wish we can watch Kids, because he didn't direct Kids, but he wrote it, and that was really his first shot getting into the business. But man, I could have showed you Kids, and you would have thought, without, you know, seeing the director, you would have thought it was his, because he pretty much wrote that film, and like the director who made it, and I can't think of the name of the director of Kids right now, top of my head, but he kind of like Harmony Korine kind of like took over where he left off with Kids, you know, as far as bringing that not mockumentary, but that documentary cinema verite style, you know, that he just nailed it and then kept going with it. Anyway, so yeah, Spring Break is going to be cool. So this is the next one you're going to watch. You might have an idea what it's going to be. Don't say it, but another, let me flip the camera here, but another summertime vibe for Mr. Harmony Korine.
Is it Beach Bum?
And I know you haven't seen it. You just can't hold back by saying it. Yeah, this is a great. I mean, yeah, I wanted to watch this when we went to Miami. Remember a couple years ago, I was like, I really wanted to watch this and show you this before we went to Miami. Because I don't know, you know, Harmony Korine lives in Florida. He lives in Miami, and this is him. I think. Well, we'll definitely get into the movie if you can remember all these things after you watch it still. But like, it's kind of like this is Harmony Korine. Like, he's rich and doesn't give a shit about anything and just wants to live his life. You know, retired in Florida, and that's kind of like the character that Matthew McConaughey plays. It's like a rich guy who doesn't give a shit. I think it's a lot. He's got a lot to say.
Weird Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I only watched this movie once when it first came out. This movie came out in
2018.
2018, yeah. Snoop Dogg was actually pretty good in this film. So I think this is kind of a little bit of Spring Breakers too, you know. I think it's a I think it's a good double feature, actually, watching back to back.
This up? It's jail time.
Wish me luck. I'm off to write the next great American novel. I may have a gangbang when I get back. I will invite your mother. Thank you, Mr. Moondog. I'm trying to uncover my connection with the world.
Just follow me, my friend. Let's go, man.
Is he a good pilot?
Nah, man, you got glaucoma in both his eyes.
Perfect.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Let's hit it, baby.
Yeah, I think it's like the most acting Snoop Dogg actually did.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jonah Hill's in it.
Training Day.
Did you know that Jonah Hill's in this?
No, I just seen it.
Yeah, I can't remember. Like, no, I don't think he's in it much, but Zac Efron, he was good in it.
What the hell happened to Jonah Hill? I really miss that guy.
I know, like, I'm surprised he's not directing more too, because
no, he's supposed to actually be directing the film. Like,
I'm sure he will. Yeah, he's already showing signs of being like an auteur. Like where it's kind of like,
yeah.
Hold on, let me flip this. Or he's kind of like doing like I'll make one when I'm ready, artistically ready, which is cool. He's not just pumping out movie after movie, which I'm kind of sure he had the opportunities to. I bet that he
of course he did, yeah.
got a lot of offers from Hollywood. That's what I like about him. He's like you could tell he's going to do it when he's ready. But have you seen anything on his like upcoming slate?
He's like supposed to be doing a film. I forgot. Like, he was like a big actor in it, but I just forgot. Like, I knew seen something about it recently, but no, I just miss Jonah Hill. Like when he was younger, he's like late.
When he was younger,
Jonah Hill, like he was so funny, and like then he was in Wolf of Wall Street. He like started to do like really good like film roles. Like he's like actually being a good actor, other than just like a funny guy, and then he just like disappears.
So you're saying you miss?
You
saying you miss his young funny era, or do you miss him in general, like everything? Because he's kind of gone away a little bit. He's a big surfer.
I mean, no, I just miss seeing him in films because he's always funny. Like 21 Jump Street, like I watched that film so many times. I mean, but nothing beats him when he was younger because he was like just so like funny and like the film roles he played in. He was like unforgivingly funny. Like you can't have another Jonah Hill character in films anymore because he'd get like canceled nowadays.
Yeah,
No,
he's typical, Hollywood actor era where it's like, all right, I made a lot of money, nothing more to prove. I'm just gonna chill. They all go through that. Not too many actors. You think about it, like who just kept working and never stopped. And not only for like alcohol or drug reasons, but just kind of like I did my thing. I'm just gonna take a break, raise a family, whatever. And from what I heard, he's kind of in that mode right now. And then
he's like in the depressive era.
Yes, and then he did that documentary where he was seeing a shrink, right? And like, which is another, it makes a lot of sense too. He was going through a lot of stuff and probably still dealing with that. He's always on Howard Stern. He's like a regular guest on Howard Stern. He at least does a show once a year, whether he's doing a project or not. And I've heard him say that. He was also on Steve-O's podcast.
Oh, really?
And so he's living life. He's doing his thing. Anyway, we're talking too much about Jonah Hill, but yeah, Harmony Korine will be our month for our next episode for June, and we are gonna definitely watch a lot. I'm gonna try to watch. I don't know. There's. I think I've seen everything. There's a few things. I mean, the new stuff that you're talking about, I didn't even look into that. I'll have to look it up and see it. I don't even know if it's worth watching. But there are some older ones I never saw. Like I said, I never saw Trash Humpers yet. I've seen a lot of clips of it. I know
that like Mr. Lonely.
Yes, that's another one that his earlier ones. Some of these are just hard to come by too, and they're not even like full features. I think they're maybe like 50 minutes or something.
That's a full feature.
We'll do some deep diving and look to see if I can find them. Anyway, okay, so we are going to wrap it up, and we will see you for episode 12. And last things is, if you want to get a hold of us, our handles are right here on Instagram and our Letterboxd. Jake, hopefully, I know summer's here, so of course you're really gonna. I shouldn't say have too much extra time. You're also working, but again, don't worry about the whole watching 30 movies in a month, thing. That's not normal. So you're kind of at you're normal now, where you can just watch a couple a week, which is what working adults have time to do. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. Anything else you want to
say? No.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next month. Peace.